Good evening. Good evening, one and all. Or good morning or good afternoon, wherever about you may be. How is everyone this fine evening? Lovely to see we've got loads of people in already. We've got a Levi, nice and early in. Alula came in with a follow as the stream started. Good evening, Alula. I hope you're well. We've got an ACAB. We've got a Wilco. We've got a Koku Smelsh. We've got a Crodmo. And to those guys over on YouTube, no one said hello yet, but I would like to extend my hellos to you. I hope you are well this evening. We have got a good stream hopefully ahead of us. Now, you may have seen that there's a little asterisk next to the stream tonight, so it might be a little bit shorter than usual, because tomorrow we have a phenomenal video coming out on the YouTube channel as long as it gets finished. Probably still about 6 hours away on that one, so hope to have things wrapped up before about 10 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time this evening, so that we can kind of work away into the evening and get that all polished off and ready to go. So, for those who are over on YouTube, just to let you know, we have a redeem already on Only Connect. So before we go into the save proper, we're going to go and do a little bit of quizzing first. Before we do that, however, I also need to say good evening to Mhad and Viva and Yonsa and Lewis. I hope you're all well. I'm glad to see you all in. So let's go on over and do our first round of Only Connect. We have the potential to do this twice this evening. We've got 2 Only Connects, 2 Guess the Players, and a Play Your Top Trumps, all available to be redeemed if you so want. So to explain the rules, I have a feeling that everyone who's in by now probably knows the rules, but just to make sure, we've got 4 picture clues. 4, that's 4. I can count, honest. Each clue is connected to one another. You will see the pictures one at a time. Your job is to guess what connects them all. The earlier you guess, the more points you get. Currently, points mean nothing, but starting next week, we're going to start to have a little leaderboard going, and maybe at the end of that, we can have something to make it all worthwhile. Archie's in, by the way. Good evening. How are you, sir? How are you? So let's crack on right into it. It's the same deal as always. If there is no names on the players as you see them, so if you know who it is, shout it out in chat. That way you can kind of help each other maybe get towards the right answer. And here we go. So our first clue today is this lovely chap. Now, do we know who this lovely chap is? A West Ham player, a former West Ham player, it must be said. It's a pretty old kit going on there. Do we know who we've got here? Let's see. Do I know who we've got, in fact? That's a very good point. I mean, I did set this up a few days ago, and can I remember exactly who everyone is in this list? We don't have many takers for it so far. So Danny Tilly, good evening over on YouTube. Hope you're well. RG has no clue. I think we're going to need to move across to the next one already. See if that will help us at all. So there we go. For 3 points, we have what looks to be a very dramatically lit Torino player. A not champs legend, a football manager legend, an absolute star of a player in this year's game. That might give you a little bit of a hint. Do we have any takers for who that might be? And I mean, if we don't know who the first person is, it's going to be difficult to work out the connection between the two of them. Seems this one might be a little bit tricky. Interesting. Interesting. I am surprised by that. I thought we might have some takers on the first one, to be honest. Maybe the second one, you only really would recognise him from a face pack, potentially. So, you white guys all look the same to me. Crodmo, you're a white guy. And to be honest, I get you confused with all the other quizzes I know as well. So, there we go. Let's move on to the next one. This does look like it might be a tricky one to get the clue, that's for sure. Danny is in with the follow. Good evening, Danny. How are you? We are in the midst of a Guess the Connection and Only Connect round, and unfortunately it looks like this one's been a little bit too difficult. Have I got everyone stumped? Is that Pietro Pellegrini, says Yonsa. It isn't Pietro Pellegrini, unfortunately. I think a little bit more defensive. Surely it's about David Luiz in the back. David Luiz is in the back of this current one, indeed. I wish it was. That would be a great clue, wouldn't it? They're all secretly stalked at night by David Luiz. Crodmo guesses that they all play for Wigan. And ACAB comes through and helps everyone by saying that's Moses. It is indeed Moses. He parted the Red Sea, allegedly. I think it's that Moses, right? Victor Moses, former Wigan player. You are correct, Quadmo, but it's not that they all played for Wigan. They all play football. They do all play football. That is very true. That is a connection. Both. What clues can I give you so far? So you are right, Quadmo, that they have all played for the same team. I can also tell you that the second player, the one at the bottom in the middle right now, also plays the same position as Victor Moses played for Chelsea. So we have, they're all are named after people in the Bible. That's a very good shout. They're not, unfortunately. I wonder, there probably are people that share the names with the other two in the Bible, I'd guess, but my knowledge of the Bible isn't wide enough. So won a cup in Italy, says Lewis. I don't know. Who's the last one on here? So you are certainly right that they were all in Italy. And what links them? ACAB is exceptionally close, I believe. So it looks like, I think that's meant to be Inter Milan, is that, ACAB? Inter Milan is the connection, but not everything. There is one slight added twist. So they have all played for Inter Milan, but there was a specific circumstance underneath. So they're all wing-backs converted from wingers, guesses Quadmo. That's not quite true, but they are. We do indeed have two wing-backs. And I think the first player was kind of a winger, kind of an attacking midfielder. But I don't believe he ever converted. So they all played for Inter on loan, says Quadmo. That was indeed the first one. And so I thought the first one was Mauro Zarate. It was indeed. And the last one would have been João Cancelo. But they were all Internazionale loanees. They all joined Internazionale on loan. Zarate in 2011-12. Raul Bellanova was the second one. Raul Bellanova, who's amazing in this year's edition of the game. He was at Inter from 22-23 season. Victor Moses didn't even spend a whole season, just 6 months at Inter Milan. A very, very surprise signing there. João Cancelo back in 2017-18 before joining Juventus. You get 2 points, Quadmo. A whole 2 points. That was a tough start. It was definitely a tough start. I'm not necessarily sure whether the next one is going to be easier. We've got a slightly more abstract set of clues for the next one. Right, let's head on over to the stream, to the save. I know my words, that's for sure. So here we are. Where did we leave off? We played 4 games so far. ACAB, you are an absolute gentleman. Give that man a round of applause. Thank you very, very much. So yeah, where did we leave off? We have finally started the league campaign, and we started it with a rousing win away from home against FC Haka, 4-3. Goals galore. Looked like the only way was up. And then we lost our next 3 games. We lost it into Turku in the 96th minute when there were only meant to be 5 minutes of injury time. And then we lost to teams around us that we don't need to mention the losses to VPS and Ulu. Hopefully, this is a chance for a restart. And we've had as usual, I've skipped forwards until the next game, but we haven't missed anything else off. I have had a little tweak with the tactics though. So I did watch the games a little bit, and I wasn't particularly happy with Dahlstrom playing as that inverted wing-back. He wasn't quite... he's actually okay. He's been okay. We'll have a look at his pizza chart here. So as that inverted wing back, he was there meant to be sitting a little bit deeper, spraying those passes out, and he's done pretty well in that regard. 0.20 expected assists is really, really encouraging. He's been okay defensively in an area that he's not particularly used to, but we just weren't quite got the fluidity that I really hoped to see. So we're going to push him out over to the right. We've moved our wing backs up because we don't really have wing backs. So let's lean into it. Let's push them into midfield. Let's have them be pressing wingers. And let's try and go a little bit more Christmas tree. That's allowed us to tuck Sid inside. And he is basically a trequartista without the trequartista. So hopefully we've got something that will go okay with that. We're going to give that a try. We've got Olawale that I'm thinking of playing up front because he can play as a striker. He's got pace, and he says that he's got pace as a strength there, but he can also jump. So whilst he's not the greatest in the air, he's 6'1", he's got a mixture of both pace and strength that we can perhaps look to use as a pressing forward. And then when we need to play a more counter-attacking direct style, we have a version with the target forward as well, where Larson, who we're going to stick out on the left, is expected to get a little bit further forward and more aggressive when we push in transition. That's the thinking. We'll see how it goes. Started save with Lausanne. How's it going though, Wilco? How's it going? Muggletail, by the way, thank you very much for the follow. I hope you're well. RG, Christmas is coming. We're going for the Christmas tree tactic. Exactly. Sert Bamson is in. How's it going? So you were here on Tuesday evening, I think, weren't you, Sert? So we haven't. This is our first day back. I don't play off stream. I don't want to rob you of all our wonderful, exciting defeats that we're going to handle. So we essentially, hopefully, haven't missed anything at all. We've lost 3 of our opening 4 league games, and we're hoping to bounce back now in an away game against Cats. So here we go. We incidentally fitness test for Suleiman, which means he could play. And the same with our backup goalkeeper. He's just on a fitness test rather than an orange injured little tag there. So some exciting times. I think that's the first time this season. Let's head on in, hopefully. Hopefully this can be the beginning of the turnaround. So RJ started save unemployed today in Italy. Pro Vercelli will be my first club in November. Awesome. A classic team. What a history they have. A great challenge perhaps to see how far you can take them before you need to jump. So Johnson says keep an eye on Matthias Siltonen if Cups play him. Could be the next Finn to play for some real European big boys. Oh, good to know. Good to know. So here we go. We will trust what Daniel Sherland asks us to say. We'll do a round of I have faith. And we'll go and have a look to see if Matthias Siltonen is on the pitch. He is not. He's not on the bench either. So maybe we've been spared for this game. We'll see. They do, however, have Roman Eremenko. He's now 37 years old. Now there's a great player. An absolute classic player of yesteryear. Playing out on the right wing. Perhaps doing very, very similar things to what we want Dahlstrom to do. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, let's get this. We will start the season all right. And we have a little treat in store potentially. So I haven't had a chance with the Willy songs. I've tried on some Willy songs. Today I was also trying to work on some songs for Jaden Reed. There are a couple that seemed really, really appropriate, but I do not have the vocal range for that. It was painful, that's all I can say. But we do have a victory song lined up. And I don't want to ask too much of you guys, but I really, really need you. When the victory song happens, which it will, we're going to get a victory tonight. I want you dancing along at home. And I don't care, if you're watching this during a funeral or you're out in the middle of town and just surrounded by a gang of really rough-looking individuals, you still need to dance along. I don't need to tell you the dance moves. You will know them instinctively. Granted, I can't see if you dance, so I'll have to take your word on it. But do so, please. So Sert says, yes, I was always following a Finland save. The league table looks a bit odd as Cups won the league in real life and SJK were almost close to the top 3. It does look a little topsy-turvy at the moment. I mean, Gnistan were down there, but got a win on game week 4, which pushed them up a little bit. Here's Dahlstrom. Can he get the ball across? It's a good save from Creedle. But we are only 4 or 5 games in, so there's plenty of time for that to change around. So RJ, they are last with 2 points after 12 games. That's why I got hired. That does sound like a monumental task because we get it across, but there's a lovely last-minute challenge there. Okay, this is okay. They had a couple of chances early on to Cups, but we are certainly starting to turn the screw a little. And as I say that, the highlights stop. Savalainen now against the angle. Oh boy, That's absolutely stupendous by Savalainen, says the commentary. Well, I'm not sure I agree. That was just a little bit pants from us. So it's from a throw-in. Ajala doesn't watch the man. It's a tight angle. Nobody engages, and it's right into the bottom corner. So they are going to show us the tight offside. And here's fine. It looks like both Reitinen and Machado were playing him on. Boo! Boo! That is not a good thing. So here we go. Eremenko now lining it up. Woikinen pushes it behind. So just made it to Prem with my Harrogate Town, says Reggae Boy. Just signed an 18-year-old English striker called Mohamed Salah, who's 6'8". That's definitely not that Mohamed Salah then, for sure. It's not. There's not been regens snuck into the game all of a sudden. Right, can we pull it back here? Cross to the far post. Writing gathers it back. Reed from the edge of the area. Easy block. And Coop's come away with it now. Antwi on the counter-attack. There we go. That's a bit disappointing so far. Let's see what's going on in a moment. We'll possibly just look to see out the last 10 minutes and make our changes at half-time. Here's Larson, tries to swing it in, gets blocked. But Reed steps in. Sid now. Got to make something of these chances. Larson gets it across. Olawale to Dahlstrom. Oh, what a save from Creedle. It's nice to see Dahlstrom getting forward. He's had a couple of chances now. But it's the same as what we had in the last couple of games. We need to be taking our chances when they come, and we really struggling to do so. So hopefully here's another chance for us. Nope, Saarinen cuts it out. Ruukalainen plays it long, but Reitinen is there. Reed. Looks like he fouls his man, but I'm not going to complain. Dahlstrom out wide now. Can he swing it in? He does. There's Olawale. Header's over. Unfortunate. So Ladislav, is that the guy who was banned for ages? I believe he was. He was, indeed. Eremenko, that's a name I haven't heard in a while. If only he had stayed away from cocaine. Yes. So there we go. There's your answer. Oh, come on. Adam, thank you so much for the resubscription. Subscribe for 2 months. You are the first resubscriber of the channel, you gentlemen. And you've arrived just in time for us to get sucker punched by Cups. We've had a good 3-4 chances now. And we've failed to convert any of them. Look at that. Look at that. 6 shots from Coops seems really good, but only 0.37 XG and 2 goals. This is really, really distressing. We've been at 0.11 XG per chance, but we just can't finish. This is frustrating. The changes have made no difference whatsoever. But our pass map looks good. Our pass map looks pretty sexy. Everyone is involved. That's worth something, right? We don't have Olawale looking too isolated, but maybe we need to push him up. Maybe try and advance forward. Maybe we need to get that target forward on. Get Lundberg up there and start to attack those spaces a little bit more directly. Cups, on the other hand, they've been really isolated. They've had the ball at the back. They've had nothing up front. But once they get forwards, they score. That's what it comes down to ultimately. But hey, one summer does not a swallow make. And that goes both in terms of good and bad. Just because we're having a bad game so far doesn't mean that we can't put it back in this game, or that we're going to have bad games going forwards either. So time to go a little bit more direct, and if we're going more direct, I think that means Olawale is going to be the one coming off. We'll pop him as a target forward on attack, move up to attacking as well. And let's say some nice things to our 17-year-old Arvid Lundberg, who we are essentially saying, hey, you need to rescue this for us. Right, so I'm watching this while my wife watches Cause of Death. What on earth is Cause of Death, Quadmo? That sounds very, very bleak. The Cups right back, Saarinen is a friend of mine. Real talent there. My word. We've got Jonser over on YouTube who's played against a number of these teams. We've got friends of the fullbacks. This is really not helping the stereotype that everyone in Finland knows each other. But it is awesome. Must be fun to see. Have you played as Coops just so that you can play with your friend. That sounds wrong. As Lundberg, we are never, ever going to score from the looks of things. My word. I think they actually got VAR to some of the games in real life now. Oh, interesting. That'll be good to see. Nice to see Dahlstrom more offensive, says RJ. I agree indeed. He's not particularly good in terms of like off the ball or crossing or shooting. But Iaramenko is through. This can be 3-0, but he does something weird. Why did he dink it? Just needs to put his foot through it. We got away with that one there. And that'll be what happens with our left side being more attacking. We don't really have that cover over on that side. So we might ask, if we ask Gokoreki to stay wider when we're in possession, we might be in a better position when it comes to defending as well, at least in the initial phases. So let's have a look what we can do there. So I'm having doubts of go. By the way, thank you, DM Basis, for the resubscribe. Our second 2-month subscriber. You are an absolute gentleman. I'm having second doubts, which is never a good sign, but we're going to bring a wing-back who can't play midfield so that we at least have someone who's capable of doing the defensive stuff, potentially. And Okuriki will come off there as well. We are going to up the tempo. We are going to take counter off. We don't actually want to counter. We want to just make sure that we're sending the ball up there once the options are on. So let's see if we can do anything. But here come Cups again. There's very little pressure on in their half, which is fine. Lampinen is through. That's 3-0. This is not going well. It's offside though. Hey, a bit of a reprieve. So Luke We Talk asks, hi Musterman, love your stream and the skin. What are the small numbers underneath your players at the bottom of the screen? And are they available in your latest update? No, they are not available in my latest update. As mentioned in my last video, I have essentially retired from skinning, I'm afraid to say. As Mercado pulls one back, is the comeback on? Probably not. And there we go. It's another goal from a set piece. I should have mentioned that at the top. I think we've only scored one goal in open play in the league so far. But I don't care because there we go. What, 2-1. Let's see if we can get back into this. This is something I've just been playing around with in my spare time. We have the header win rate, the expected assists, tackle win rate, and XG just as a screenshot. It only works at the resolution that I stream at, which is 1600 by 900. The spacing goes all wrong at any other. And as I said, because I'm not doing any more updates or releases for Musterman Iconic, I'm afraid I'm not going to be working on it so that it works at multiple resolutions. Sorry. That was a nice play. Their second goal was quite a nice goal. I will grant you that. But still, here we go. Enquist hangs it up. Lundberg with the header. Kreidel pins it onto the bar. Come on, guys. Come on. We can do this. We can do this. Let's fire them up into the last 10 minutes. We do win it back from their throwing, though. Fonsel plays it into Sid. Sid hasn't had a good start to it, and he hits the post. Oh, my word. We are not going to get our luck, are we? I think Sid has hit the post 3 times this season so far. It was him hitting the post that led to the mega save in the Inter-Turku game. Right. What do we do for the last few moments? What's the last throw of the dice? The last throw of the dice is Salonen on for the booked Dahlstrom, who is looking tired. And I think it's just that. I don't think we can really bring any of these other players on to make a difference. We could bring Willie on. We could bring Willie on for Larson. We could bring Willie on for Sid. And really go for it in these last sections. So if we pop him as a support, that what happens as a result of this, though, is we do lose that link between midfield and attack. So we will lose a certain element of control in doing so. That means we will drop him back down as a defensive winger and perhaps ask Ojala to get forwards a little bit more as a Segundo Volante, so we have that bridge a little bit in there. Right. I have faith in you. The last 5 minutes. The corner for Cups. Oxenen stands over it. And it's not a highlight. There we go. It's a free kick now. Meitinen edges the area, plays it into Oxenen. Back to Eremenko. Eremenko takes what shot from... I can't speak. That was a shot from distance straight at the keeper, who somehow kicks it out for a corner from there. Interesting. Right, Oxenen. This time he's standing over the corner. Whips it in. Goes to the far post. Alvinen gets there to get clear. Ajala's chasing it down. There's a chance to counter. Can he play it through? He doesn't. His head down. He's just running towards the byline. Plays it inside to Engqvist now. Can he play it across to the attacking players? No. He plays to Fonsell instead. Why? Why, man? There was so many players over on... Because Fonsell's going to do something. Someone do something. Someone... Don't give me a pass backwards. What's that? What's that? Right. Let's do what I would like to call anatomy of a disaster. This is really, really quite... So Ajala, he's counter-attacking here. There's a great chance to play the ball to Nunes immediately there. Nunes had made that run darting outside. He's now coming back inside because the pass wasn't forthcoming. But, you know, that's okay. Sometimes you miss those chances, your heads are down. We play it into Engqvist. And suddenly, with Bacca backing off, there's the ball out to Larsson. And if we zoom out, we've got Salonen pushing up in support as well. Does he play it? Does he play the pass to the space? No! He runs backwards. Here's Fonsell, our ball winner. He's going to run all the way down to byline. Get the cross in. Get the cross in. Maybe you could squeeze it through there. Maybe you could whip it in. You could even shoot. Or maybe cut it back here. You've got Engqvist. No, let's not do that. He finally gets it to Nunes. Here we are. We're inside the 6-yard box. We've got to surely do something. Look, sure, he's facing the wrong way, but if he can get it across, Lundberg is unmarked 4 yards in the centre of the goal. That is a guaranteed equalise, you'd think. No, he passes it out the bloody box. My word. And then whatever that was, that is quite something. Oh, yeah, my word. But we do step in. Here we go, Lundberg. Nunes, is he onside? I don't think he is. He isn't. The pass came late. It should have been not there. It should have been Lundberg passing through to Nunes. But by the time the pass did come, he was miles off. But it's a spirited end to the game, that's for sure. Right, goal kick. Is this a chance for Kups maybe to sucker punch us right at the end now? Plays long again. We're able to gather with Salonen. Goes back to the keeper, which is absolutely fine. Let us set. Our left-sided defender is basically on the centre of the pitch there. No stretching of the play. And that looks like the chances to build up has gone. Indeed, here we go. Loea Lutumba plays it back. Salonen over the top. Heinenen's made a great run. It's misjudged. And that is game over. It was a delightful assist, you've got to say. I mean, was that Alvinen or was that Reitinen who misjudged the flight of the ball? It was Reitinen from the looks of things. It looks like maybe he got muscled off it, to be fair. I mean, still, that's not a good thing, but at least it wasn't just failing to hit it. There's a lovely, lovely ball over the top, and that's done for us. But we went for it at the end of the game. You know, that does come with the risk of conceding another, so I can't really be too mad about that. I could be mad about everything else. I will catch up with the chat that I've missed, by the way, but I have seen that Sert's asked, is Petteri Forsell available? Don't like him, but he's a bit of an icon. We are playing with the first transfer window disabled, so it doesn't matter for now. And we will only be taking players that our scouts recommend. You guys can mention players, that's cool, but unfortunately we have no scouting budget, so I can't scout anyone. And if I can't scout anyone, they won't appear in the scouted players bit, which means I can't consider them anyway. So for the time being, at least in the short term, it doesn't really matter who's available. Unless our scouts are already aware of them, we're a little bit boned. So there we go. It's 3-1 to Kups. They had 11 shots, they had some very good chances, but they only generated 0.68 XG and scored 3 goals. It took us 1.42 XG to score 1. We missed some big chances, and whatever that was that happened at the end there, I still can't believe that move. That was some very, very weird attacking football. So we haven't ended our run, that's for sure. But I will say that, yeah, if you play like that and actually score, you'd be all right, and nobody is buying it. Let's plunge the morale even further. So let's catch up a little bit on what I've missed from you guys so far. We will. We've got a player suspended now as well. Marvellous. What we need is that. So there we go. And Suleiman becomes bench option. So where were we? Eremenko actually played for Kyrgyzstan this year in real life. Still a quality player domestically. That's good to know. So obviously we've started just with the vanilla database, which means we started in 2023. So yeah, this is this season. I assume that he must have transferred after the final data update, which I suppose with SI it would have been January of this year. So if that move made during the summer, or is it just one that they've missed off completely? What's better, winning the pass map table or the XG table? Losing the actual table in both scenarios, of course. Good evening, JHK. Lovely to see you in. Yes, in this game, we're going for what's important is whatever we are winning at. So if it's a save where we're doing really, really well in XG, if it's a save where we're doing really, really well in possession, those are the important things, not wins. Wins don't matter whatsoever. Potato, there wasn't really anything more annoying in FM than playing better than the opposition and still being behind anyway. It's what happens. As a Villa fan, I know full well that there have been many, many games that we've won over the last few seasons where we probably haven't deserved to. And that's just the flow of the game. We need to get more clinical. We've tried now with Olawale up front. We'll give him a little bit more of a chance up there as well. But our biggest issue has been finishing chances. Let's have a look. Look, 5 games in, you can't draw much in the way of conclusions. But we are massively underperforming. We've conceded 4 more goals than we should have done. We're actually about right for XG, and that'll probably have something to do with that 4-3 game in the opening weekend. But we should be 6th. We're actually 10th, which isn't so positive. Cause of Death is a UK Channel 5 programme that is about coroners finding out why people have died. That makes sense. I probably should have been able to work that out, shouldn't I? So here we go. Things do get easier. We've got a home game against FC Lahti. Top of the league currently. They have lost a game though so far. They've won 5, they've lost 1. Interesting, Artu Heinonen, who scored the final goal and has a marvellous... Let's take a look at that man. A beautiful mullet and moustache combo. He is the top scorer in the league currently, so we'll give him some props in that regard. Something about barn doors in it. It really is. It really is. We couldn't hit a cow's arse with a banjo. Coops is another team I've played against, says Yonsa, including multiple times in the actual stadium you're playing in right now. That is awesome. That is awesome. So RJ, set piece coach deserves a raise. Well, our set piece coach has the best job he could possibly have. He is our assistant manager and former Liverpool legend Daniel Sherland. We could part company with some players at the end of their contracts. Correct, we can. For fuck's sake, time for Willie. We sent Willie on. Willie has now played about 300 minutes, I think, maybe, and does not have a goal to his name. Okay, only 180 minutes. He has, in 180 minutes, that's 1 shot on target. So 2 shots in those 9 appearances overall. But he is only getting short spells. He's not really getting those chances. One of those shots was blocked. It was, and I can't remember the other shot at all. And this is why I actually hate watching the match, says DMB. Indeed. I did ruin the Christmas tree, I am afraid, Maeve, but we had to go for it at the end there. There's no point in being passive, and if we go down on goal difference, we go down on goal difference. And that Piri Lampinen, who scored the disallowed goal for Coops, is a player who I trained with the other week. My word, this is genuinely, do you know everyone in Finland? Come on, he's only 5 metres off ref, says RJ. Exactly. Where's the benefit of the doubt to the striker when you need it? Adam, I weep for SJK. I don't. I need as many teams below us as possible. I know, obviously, you have that. You have the connection there, but But yeah, no. I want to see SJK suffer. I know that's a little bit unfair, but that's just how it is. So we're back with a defensive winger, which is fine there. I didn't think that Daniel Enquist was too bad when he came on, apart from a little bit of weird decision making. Let's give Larson a chance up front. He is a striker. He has scored 3 goals for us. Maybe we see how he gets on there. Give him a chance where he should actually be playing. Okariki is the player who's going to drop into defence with Machado suspended. He can tackle, he can jump, he can head. He's slow, he's not particularly strong. He's probably our 3rd best defender, to be honest, because I don't rate Alvinen, who's won 69% of his tackles and 75% of his headers, so maybe I should give him a little bit more respect there. So interestingly, after we've no longer have the issue at right back, we've stopped coming against teams who look to attack that area. Right, Enquist is lacking match sharpness. Well, he'll always lack match sharpness if you tell us not to play him. Here we go. So we'll point our finger. We've got some good reactions. We will just focus on those that haven't reacted and see if maybe a little bit of faith. The defensive players have reacted well to that, at least. So, hello, good sir. One question. Which player instruction do you think instructs offensive midfielders to play in the half spaces? There isn't really... Well, so... You will find that if you have a player moving into the channels, they are naturally trying to find those gaps in between the fullbacks and the strikers. That is a more attacking movement-based option, which will look to get them behind the defence. But it does mean that in those initial phases, they can also be found in the half spaces. Otherwise, it's not really something you can deal with directly with instructions. You can ask players to roam for positions so they pick up pockets of space, and if those pockets of space are in the half spaces, then Bob's your uncle. But otherwise, it's the roles you're looking at. So you're looking at players out wide that are cutting inside, like inverted wingers, and you're looking at players like Mazzalas, or even actually anyone in a 4-3-3 in that midfield strata. If you ask them to stay wider, they will, generally speaking, be in those channels that you consider the half space. So Cert says, Eremenko came to the club at the beginning of the summer. Nistan had a decent season as a promoted side. I was nearly hired by them a year ago to do their communications and marketing. Oh, that would have been cool. Right, Larson is through. Larson is through. Yes!
Adam Larson. Adam Larson.
I can't actually hear the soundboard, so I'm just throwing my arms around and hoping that it's in time. Well, hey, there we go. What in the actual Aussie haircut? That mullet was fine, wasn't it? Larson is supposed to be top 3 goal scorer of the season. He is indeed, and he's shown why. Goal! It is indeed. Right, okay, Ivanovic to equalise immediately into the side netting. It's always good to see us let them potentially get straight back into the game. It's another highlight here. Here's a free kick hung up to a far post. And there we go. Immediate equaliser. Bollocks. So there we have at the back post
Adam Larson.
Alvinen and Enquist. Tight offside. He was on. Was he on? He was on. Indeed. So for all the praise that Sherland has got recently, he's got to take the blame there. He had two not particularly good players in the air defending that space as Reed goes close. It has certainly been a pretty exciting opening few moments to this game. Mees174, good evening. I hope you're well. Thank you very much for the follow. It was perfect, coach. I'm glad to hear. Super. The production value is through the roof. Bless you. Thank you. It has definitely got a DIY feel to it. But I like that DIY feel. Here we go now. Is there a chance for us to put ourselves back ahead? Fonsell moves it back to Alvinen. Enquist gets the ball. He doesn't really show out in that area. And now Reed is going to shoot from an angle that was never going to happen. I swear that took a deflection though. Right, what are we looking at in terms of... Right, I want to just quickly shoot across there. It's been pretty even. 3 shots each, 50% possession each, roughly. As Lahti come forwards. Jarlo manages to play it into Yarvanpar. Back to Jarlo. It's a good tackle from the blind side there for moving in, I think. But the pressure is not gone. Yarvanpar back down to Jarlo. Jarlo has a knock. No, he doesn't. It's Hertzy who has a knock. Right, Viteko. Very little pressure in their defensive half. We're just allowing them to pass the ball around. Can we perhaps wait for them to make a mistake and capitalise? Or will we allow them to just eventually make their way through? This is a very, very slow building highlight, that's for sure. Kuningas back to Andrade. Andrade is going to play it down the line. No, he's going back to Viteko. Klinger into Kuningas. Now he's through. Lopez plays it across to Hertzy. Hertzy, they can't close the angle, but Riekinen gets a strong arm to it. And right-handed did that and somehow saved it. It looked like it went behind his head. We'll take the save however it comes. Riekinen clears the corner. I think we need to be a little bit bastardy. Let's try and get this gentleman off the pitch. All right, the highlight isn't over because Lopez is through. That's 2-1. It's not 2-1. For a moment, I thought we were never going to get that. It looked offside to me originally. It didn't even earn a replay. Ivanovic with a header hits the bar. Did Riekinen get a touch onto it? It's starting to be all FC Lahti now. 1.54 XG. The tables have very much swung since the last game. We're going to need to do something to kind of hold them back a little bit. All right, so here we go. We've seen them passing the ball around a lot in midfield. Michael Lopez is clearly being instructed to stay high. He's making those runs in behind, which we seem not to pick up. You would think that with 3 defenders that we'd have a good chance of, actually paying attention to him. But, at this level, that's how these things work. There's gaps there, but they're quite squashed down this side. So it looks like this is the area where we potentially need to harass a little bit more, where they can get the overloads. We haven't had much of the ball, which is fine. This time we've seen that Larsson's been quite isolated. He's only receiving the ball deep. And let's see what's happening with possession here. Sebastian Dahlstrom. Now he's not in as creative a role anymore. So 11 lost possession is actually quite a concern. Maciej Sajala as a deep-lying playmaker. I should be very happy that he hasn't lost the ball, but he's a player that I want taking more risks. So you kind of want him to be doing stuff. Enquist has had 11 touches. He's lost the ball 7 times. Right. So we'll say some positivity there. No, I said I was going to stop being positive, didn't I? I did say I was going to stop being positive. I do apologise. I don't know why I'm apologising. They're not real. I think we are going to look to counter. That means we are going to look to be a little bit wider. These guys are both moving into channels, which is cool. These guys are both meant to be staying wider. We are, however, going to swap these guys around. I need to wait for... There is a little thing that comes up to indicate that you're in the right position, but I always forget about that. So Dahlstrom is actually the more defensive of the defensive wingers because our left side is asked to get further forwards. So we are going to ask him to take fewer risks because he's giving the ball away a little bit too much. And just to hold his position whilst this guy moves forwards a little bit more. We do potentially run the risk with the deep line playmaker over this side of getting overrun. So we will ask Alvin to step up and be ready to kind of engage when that space becomes vacated. So we kind of end up in more of a back two at times. Well, a back four, hopefully, once the guys fall back. And we saw them have a lot of the ball around in this area. Klinger had a lot of the ball as well. No, we're not going to do that. We're just going to make sure that we pay attention to Lopez. So we're not doing a particularly good job of marking him. Right. Bit of I have faith, and let's see if we can do something in this second half. So, yo man, your skin looks very fun. I'm going to try it out soon, but I want to learn something about it first, so I'm going to watch your streams. Welcome aboard, Mies. I hope you enjoy. RG says Enquist is passing a lot back. I thought he only had a small handful of touches and kept on losing the ball. And there's Ivanovic at the far post. Oh, there we go. There we go. What on earth is... Okay, Jaden Reed. Why is Jaden Reed... Right, so this is their throw-in. I know that we're leaving the set pieces to the assistant manager, but why would Jaden Reed be back marking a man who you can see even this far zoomed out? You can see that he absolutely dwarfs him. K is evidently marking zonely. He's doing nothing. We've got these guys. So we have 1, 2, 3 guys doing absolutely nothing. And we've got 2 players over there, marked up by 1. Yarvenpar sends the cross in. Ivanovic at the far post. Jaden Reed did not have a hope in hell. You can't blame him for that. Could be a big ask now. 2-1 down against the team top of the table. Yarvenpar out to Ivanovic. Ivanovic plays it in, but Fonsell makes the interception. Reed, can he play the ball through, or can he go it alone? He's going to go it alone. He takes a shot. It hits the... My word. My word. That's the third time we've smashed the woodwork in the last couple of games. We need to take these chances. We're not going to get an awful lot of them. Here's Klinger out to Andrade. Play it back. It's a lovely pulse from Klinger to find Ali on the left. He gets the cross in. Ivanovic at the far post, just over. Ivanovic is destroying us. Right, so Dahlstrom has to come off. He's looking tired and not particularly playing well. Olawale will come on as the winger on the right-hand side. Jaden Reed, I think Jaden Reed's played okay. His match rating is probably a reaction to the goal that was conceded, which isn't his fault. I would like to bring Alvinen off, but I have no real centre-backs. So we need to go big again, and I think it's a little bit too early to chuck 3 up top right now. But we will bring... No, we're not going to bring Olawale on. We're going to bring Lundberg on. We're going to put Larson in the role in behind there. We're going to push Sid out wide. And we're going to make Lundberg a target forward on support. Larson an attacking midfielder on attack. He's in to move into channels, so we're looking at that. Get the ball into the big man, have people in and around him. We're still struggling. We're still going to see less of the ball, so a counter might actually be useful in this situation. Right, I have faith in you, young Lundberg. Why am I playing this vertical camera, I may ask? I think it's a more interesting angle to watch the game from. It's another goal from a set piece. It's Alvinen. Reed with the corner. Alvinen, who I said I would have bought off if I had a substitute to bring on, makes me eat my words. And I have to probably say sorry to Sherlin for criticising his set pieces. However, we have a highlight immediately from kickoff. That's never a good sign. Jallo plays it back to Yarvenpar. Where's my thingy what's it that tells me what's coming? Ali crosses. Ajala gets it clear. Ivanovic, this is all very scrappy. Can we just get rid of the ball? No! Yes! Good save. And Ivanovic has come off. The best news I could possibly have, maybe. He's gonna score now, isn't he? The substitution is gonna score. Here's Vitkilo. And that's claimed. Right, into the last 20 minutes now. Alvin, this looks like a really, really good opportunity to counter-attack here. There is so much space. Alvin is not the player I want attacking it, but I don't care. He plays it back to Enquist. Larson with the first-time shot. It's blocked for a corner. That was our counter-attacking in full flow there. Right, cross into the near post. We tried to do the same thing again. Nothing come from it. We have a free kick now. Sid's going to take a shot. Maruka would have saved it had it been on target, but still goes for the unnecessary dive. That was one for the cameras. Andrade now going to get forwards. Reitinen. So we identified that they were going to attack down this side with Dahlstrom. We tried to make some changes, make it a little bit more conservative on that side, but a lot of their attacks have still come down this left-hand side for them. So we might need to make a change in that respect. Simjonovic plays it over to... Oh, Koskinen should have scored that. Oh, we are very, very fortunate there. Right, so I think we are going to now bring you back as a wing-back who has to tackle harder. We have to really protect that area as much as we possibly can. And that means Sid's game has been run. Of course, we have no right backs, but Olawale has played there. He can't mark. But then, even when for right backs that we do have, they don't. They're not particularly good anyway, so it doesn't really make too much difference. We will bring Fonsell off. I think he's been okay, but I don't like my central midfielders being tired in the last few moments, especially when we're under the cosh. So we're going to change essentially the entirety of this defensive midfield strata. How can that go wrong? Reed with the flick on. Larson isn't going to get there, but Enquist can get to the second ball. Hangs it in. It's a mistake! It's a mistake! Arvid Lundberg! Yo! We so do not deserve that. We are... What on earth was that? So Enquist just hits it in. Manuka. A tragic mistake from Manuka there. Lundberg's on hand to tap in. Right. Straight into the tactics now. Balanced. Time wasting all the way up. Tempo down a little bit. We're going to drop those lines. Still want to trap inside. That's it. I mean, I know there's at least 10 minutes, probably like 15, because every game seems to have quite a bit of injury time. But we are going to go and defend for the last sex here. But here we go. Enquist with a corner. Take your time, Enquist. Take your time, my boy. Cross it in to absolutely nobody at the near post, but it comes back to him. Olawale on the edge of the area with a truly, truly stupid shot. So, Järvenpää, last 5 minutes. Koskinen's got him behind. Reitinen gets it clear. I kind of feel like Reitinen should have been able to hold that without too many troubles, personally. Last 2 minutes. No more highlights. No more highlights. Not this. It's... Injury time has ended. We're into the 6th minute of injury time. This has already happened once. We've done it! We've done it! You know what that means. I am 39 years old. So we will pretend that that didn't happen. We will also pretend that my arms aren't really fucking aching after that. Oh dear God. I did say that when the song plays, I hoped you would dance along at home. I expect that you should have all known the dance. It is a classic. So, amazingly, that's timed so wonderfully as well, because I've just got a notification that an ad is coming up, which means I can address the god-awfulness of that in roughly about 4 minutes. So let's all take a break. I would normally stretch my legs, but in fact I'm probably going to get an ice pack and hopefully heal my arms after that. I will see you in about 4 minutes. And we're back. This time I've remembered to unmute the mic. There we go, 3-2. What a comeback. And look, I mean, we were truly under the cosh in that game. Lahti can feel very hard done by to lose that game, but I don't care, quite frankly. We've now recorded wins against Lahti and HJK and lost against the teams around us, which certainly doesn't bode well when it comes to the league splitting in half and us potentially playing all the teams around us. But that's a bridge for us to cross a little bit later. Arvid Lundberg is a legend. And it seems that I get the feeling that he plays a lot better when he comes off the bench. I mean, we had him as starting all of last stream and he didn't score at all. But when we had him coming off the bench in the first stream in the league stage of the Liga Cup, we seem to get a lot of joy. So maybe that's going to be a regular thing. Potentially at half time, we look to change things up in that respect, get a little bit more direct. So let's catch up a little bit on what's happened there and pretend that I didn't dance the Numa Numa song. otherwise known as Dragastar Dinte by Romanian band O-Town. And it features something like 6 different languages in it. Useful information to know. So we're going to win the fucking league, DMB. We are going to win the fucking league. JHK says outplayed. Yes, of course we were outplayed, the team top of the league. And it's not about... Remember how in the last game, the most important thing was the pass map? Well, in this game, the most important thing was goals, and we scored 3 of them. So yeah, it means that's the save. We're in IFK. We're in the first season. We're only 6 games in, so you've joined along nice and early into the journey. Transfer window is currently disabled, so we haven't done any of the analytics side of things, and we won't be until July. That does mean we're stuck with a squad of 21 players, 1 right back, 1 left back, no left wingers, an obscene amount of like 19-year-old defensive midfielders / centre backs that are a bit rubbish at both. So it's going to be a real uphill struggle for the first few months, and then hopefully we can start to put our touch to it a little bit more. So Sisu says that was a very interesting noise. Interesting is a very polite word for it. Crudmo, what the juice is this? That was a classic. Everyone loves a bit of Dragastar Dinte, right? Okay, this is the single best thing I've ever seen. I'm 43 and I enjoyed it. Adam says this is atrocious. The worst thing I've ever seen. 10 out of 10 would recommend. I told you, Adam, you were in for a treat. I did call it a classic, and just to be clear, when I was calling it a classic, not what I was doing. That wasn't classic. It was the meme is a classic. Is there a freestyler in the works? That was pure magic. We are working. I'm not sure whether it will be freestyler, but that is one of the ideas that we're working on. I've been trying to work through as many ideas as possible in the small little pockets of time that I get, and a lot of ideas aren't quite coming to fruition. As I will say, if you take into consideration what you've just seen, then you will know that the standard required for it, it's pretty low. It doesn't need to be really, really good, because that's not going to be really, really good. I can't sing for shit. But a lot of stuff has been even further below that bar. So we will see. We're trying something with Freestyler. It hasn't come off quite yet, but we'll persevere. So we've got 41 enjoyed it, 43 and loved it. Are we all old, says RJ. And I have a feeling that there's a pretty old contingent here. I mean, who else would be watching a weird old man playing Football Manager and dancing along to memes from 20 years ago? Also, I showed my partner the Numa video and she didn't appreciate it. Fuming. I mean, it's a moment in time, isn't it? Because if you watch it back now, it's just a bit weird. Brilliant. It's endearing and lovely. It's just a guy having fun, dancing like Eremenko on a night out, I think would perhaps be fair. But it is a weird thing that if you weren't there in the moment, it does probably just seem a bit odd. Sparky, good evening, by the way, sir. I apologise if I didn't say good evening earlier. Oh, well, good morning for you, because it is way too effing early in the morning for that. My God, I do apologise to those over the pond. It is indeed quite early to have to deal with that. I'm so sorry. So RG has redeemed a guest the player, so I think we should probably go over and do that. Here we go. So let's explain again how this works. I think most of you already know, but you will see small snapshots of a player's profile in FM24, all belonging to the same player. First, you'll see the position they play, then you'll see their attribute polygon to give you an idea of what they're good and bad at. You'll see their scout report, followed by their attributes and traits, and finally their career history. Your job is to guess who the player is. Earlier you guess, the more points you get. Nice and simple. So I do need to click over here. There we go. And let's go for the first clue. We have a goalkeeper. Really not much information to go on there whatsoever. They're left-footed and they're better as a goalkeeper than they are as a sweeper keeper. So we have Courtois, an early guess coming in there. And there we go. There's the retrogress from Skudmo coming in with Steve Agrizovic. It is not was Steve Grizovic left-footed? So Courtois is a good guess. I believe he is left-footed. It is not Courtois. It is not De Gea either. David De Gea, a great goalkeeper who is definitely not a sweeper keeper, so that makes sense. I think it's probably a good idea that we move on to the next clue nice and early, because there's really very little information to go on there. Granted, there's not much information to go on there, and because I can't see the image very clearly on my computer, I'm just going to go off camera for a second. So we can see he's really, really good at communication. Well, you can see, I can't, that's why I'm leaning over here. He's not particularly eccentric. He's pretty decent in the air. Any more guesses? What we got coming through there? So we've got Brad Guzan. Brad Guzan was indeed left-footed. It is not Brad Guzan. It's not Roy Cowell. Roy Cowell, unfortunately, is also retired, I believe. Jeff Badman is in. I hope you're well. Atletico Madrid's goalkeeper, can't think of his name, says Danny. And Adam comes in after that with Oblak, and it is not Oblak. That was, though, the Atletico Madrid keeper. Good guesses coming in. Kaylan Navas is coming as in his guess. Peter Cech. Fuck it. Jack Butland. There's a good shout. There's an interesting shout. It is not Jack Butland. We do have a number of people who are in the right league with their guesses. If we move on, they are a La Liga player. Peggy R. Fixad, says Reggae Boy. There's a name I haven't thought about in a long, long time. I always used to get him and Lionel Letizia confused. No particular reason. Handanovic, says Adam. It is not Handanovic. I don't know if he's left-footed or not, to be honest. Reggae Boy says Dimitri Karin. My Outlook. So, Outlook many, many years ago would let you set a little avatar, and for some reason my avatar is Dimitri Karin. And it also has like a little phrase next to it, and it just says face of a bender. I have no idea why. I don't remember setting that. It's probably like 30 years ago. But Dimitri Karin is my Outlook avatar. So we have Unai Simon, said Adam. It is not Unai Simon, but we do have the correct answer, and they're coming through in their droves. ACAP was first in, getting himself a nice 3 points with Georgi Marmadashvili. But we also had Nuxku, RJ, and Jonsa all coming through with the right guess there. It is the Georgian keeper who obviously, in FM24, is at Valencia because his move to Liverpool hasn't transpired yet. So unfortunately it wasn't Ter Stegen DMB, it still wasn't Steve Grizovic, it wasn't Rui Silva. Well done, ACAB. Beautiful guess there. A fine 3 points making its way to you. Head back to the stream. Hey, there we go. Marvellous stuff. So I do believe I missed a couple of comments as well. I know, so we're just going over how old we are. We are all old from the looks of things. Oh, and we have another redeem straight away on the Only Connect, and we might as well go straight into that. What we'll do is I'll just get us up to the fourth round, so that once we finish the next game, we can go straight into a match as well. So RJ likes I think Mamadashvili is a great goalkeeper. I'm surprised that he's down as a better as a goalkeeper than as a sweeper keeper. He's a Dodgy Rolex, thank you so much for the resubscribe. I hope you are fine this evening. We have just won a game, so everything feels good. The DMB says you don't have to do that now, but just before we end. Right now, I'm in a great mood. We've won a game, so the longer before we have to play another league game and that unbeaten run of one game comes to an end, the better in many respects. But yeah, we'll head up. As I did mention at the top, this is likely to be a slightly shorter stream than usual. I want to have things wrapped up, preferably long before 10 p.m, because I still have about 6 hours of editing to go for tomorrow's video, which means we're in for a late night. And maybe some people would point out that, why then, Jeff, did you make some stupid little Numa song when you could have been editing your video? And to that I have no response, other to say I'm an idiot. There you go. So He's not really that good with the ball, Marmadashvili, so that's maybe why he's better as a goalkeeper. Yeah, but so I agree in some respects, Sean. So he's certainly not in the league of someone like a Nana, who's really, really comfortable, but he's quite active at coming off his line and being able to be that sweeper, essentially. He is the sweeper underneath, and we're trying to. So hopefully when FM25 is out, we're going to see some new roles, aren't we? Or we're led to believe we're going to see some new roles. There's been that leak, but it hasn't been confirmed. And so I think there is a suggestion that there's actually going to be a ball-playing goalkeeper, which I think is what we all think of as a sweeper keeper. But in the game, sweeper keepers don't really happen. You can't get your goalkeeper involved as much as some of these modern goalkeepers are. So DM Basis says, damn right, good man, indeed. The deep-lying goalkeeper, that's what we need. We need a roaming goalkeeper as well. Someone who'll go on mazy runs. And a penalty-taking goalkeeper. That needs to be its own role. So Mhad says, catching the back end of this conversation, he's been brilliant every time I've watched him. He is a cracking keeper. Prodmo says, looking after Musterman there, the bassist code. Bloody bassists. We will inherit the earth. That's what the Bible says, right? The meek will inherit the earth. And the bassists are the meekest members of most bands usually. Why do we play bass? Because we want to be kind of off in the corner. We want to pretend that we're involved in the music making, but we don't actually want to, learn anything. So, hopefully the next YouTube video is longer than the 16-second passing directions video. Indeed, Rolex. Indeed. I mean, it could be that short. The premise is, can Thomas Tuchel's approach work with England? I reckon I could wrap it up in 4 seconds. Yes. And no lies were spoken, says DMB. Indeed. So Mhad, I think goalkeepers being good off their line is quite underrated. Our keeper at Rochdale got a load of stick at the start of the season, but since he got injured, we've struggled loads more because he stopped some chances before they've happened by coming off his line. Indeed. Being able to play that high line and know that you've got someone in behind who's going to be able to stop any chances before they actually happen, or who's going to be good at one-on-ones, makes a huge difference to the way that a team can play. And as a Villa fan, you see it. We play very, very aggressive kamikaze football because we know that Martinez is exceptional at one-on-ones. So we can take that risk. And that means we can condense play up in in the opposition's half, and we can take those risks and hopefully get some turnovers. So is that a spoiler for the vid, says RJ? Well, so the video for tomorrow is based on something that we did do on a couple of Sunday mornings over here on Twitch about a month ago. So we're looking at Thomas Tuchel and how he set up in the past, how you could achieve that in FM, and what that might mean for the composition of England's squad. And then we go through a World Cup campaign. So there's already been spoilers in some respects, and we got to the World Cup, so it didn't go horribly wrong at least. But anyway, enough yapping. Let's get into Simone Connect. This is game number 2, and I will warn you, the clues are a little more abstract this time round. So it's 4 pictures. There is a connection between all 4. Now, sometimes that connection might be that they've all played for the same team under a certain condition, or that they've all worked with the same player or manager, or maybe something else. I've kind of already given you a hint that this is maybe something else. So here we go. Here is the first clue. And as always, we have a tendency to start with a retro player, just to mess you around with you a little bit there. So, bassists are fine, says Crudmo, as long as we unite against the common enemy that is guitarists. That is fair indeed. That is fair indeed. So, Cert, what are your main expectations for FM25? I'll get to you after the game with that, because I think that answer will need to be a little bit more involved. And yes, goalkeepers don't always have to look pretty, but they just need to do the job. Bassists and guitarists are natural enemies, says DMB. Like drummers or guitarists or vocalists and guitarists or guitarists and other guitarists. Exactly. Damn guitarists. RG guesses that the link might be they played with yellow kits. That seems reasonably fair. That's all you've got to go on so far. I'm guessing by the lack of responses, we're not necessarily sure who the player is. Reggae Boy has guessed Gifton Noel Williams. That is a fantastic guess. That's not Gifton Noel Williams, but you're kind of around the right era. And it's another player who was very, very good in champs back in the day. So we've had a guess that they've all been owned by the Pozzo family. That's not quite right there, unfortunately. I don't recognise this Watford lad. Let's move to the next one. Now, you will definitely know who the next person is. Unfortunately, with the first one, you probably won't be able to work it out until a little bit later on. So second space, it is indeed Samuel Eto'o. Unfortunately, without the first one, it might be hard to work out the clue here. Samuel Eto'o. What can I tell you to help you with the first clue? Whilst we've got a little bit of time there. Was a former Wigan striker. There we go. A former Wigan striker who was very good in the old Championship Manager, Football Managers, and then joined Watford. So have they all been to Elton John's house? Reggae Boy, who hasn't been to Elton John's house? It's an open door policy there, or so I hear. DM Bassist, have they all won their international continental competition? AFCON, etc. Good guess. I don't believe the first person has an international cap, but I might be wrong on that. If so, I don't believe they've won a continental competition. I can certainly tell you that the next person hasn't. Hugo Rodallega. It is not Hugo Rodallega, I'm afraid. It's not Julius Agahawa either. They all like Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola, you say, sir? I wonder what you're suggesting. They might well do, but I don't know. I don't know that, unfortunately. Hank is in. Good evening, Hank. How are you, sir? I do apologise. Traction FM, by the way, thank you for the resubscribe. I do apologise, I didn't mention it. So our next one is this Liverpool lad. So how are you this evening, Hank? By the way, how did the interview go last week? I kept on meaning to ask earlier on in the streams and then forgot, so I do feel bad. RG, they all played right back. Samuel Eto'o, quite famously, was a right back indeed. No, so the first player was a striker. The second player is definitely a striker. The third player is a left back. Traction, Nathan Ellington, the first one. The first one is indeed Nathan Ellington. And that's genuinely, knowing that is going to make a world of difference. We have Nathan Ellington, Samuel Eto'o, and the third person. So, Eto'o played right back in the ECL final, did he now? Interesting. Bodmo comes in and says they're all nicknamed Duke. I see where you're going there. Obviously, Nathan Ellington was nicknamed Duke after the wonderful jazz legend Duke Ellington. Samuel Eto'o, I guess, could have once been called Duke Eto'o. Sounds a little bit like Duke Leto from June, so we'll go with it. Stephen Warnock, he's probably a Duke. He looks like he's the kind of person who's paid. You know, you can pay online for those like lordships and like you own land so that you can get yourself a title. I feel like Stephen Duke Warnock was quite possible. So you are indeed correct. That is Stephen Warnock, Ronaldo. Kenny Body, you are also there. JHK, they do not, unfortunately, all have African heritage. I don't know. Maybe Stephen Warnock does. So we have Nathan Ellington, Samuel Eto'o, Stephen Warnock. And finally, we have this gentleman. Now, I did warn you guys, this is abstract. But Adam is in. Adam is in with it. Yes. Someone got the clue. I do apologise that it was a little bit more tricky. Their initials are all compass directions. Jeff Badman has also pointed out as well. Crudmo there as well. So we have Nathan Ellington is northeast. Samuel Eto'o is southeast. Stephen Warnock, southwest. And Nico Williams, northwest. That was a tricky one. Let's be fair. That was a remarkably tricky one. I did warn you guys it was going to be a little bit abstract. Well done, Adam. A well-deserved point there. It feels a little unfair to only give you a point for that, but as points mean nothing right now, I suppose, doesn't matter too much. My word, I genuinely didn't think anyone would get that. It was going to be perhaps a little bit too tricky. Well done, sir. So let me come back to you, Cert. I believe before we started the game, I just want to scroll back and check there that I didn't just make it up. What are your main expectations for FM 2025? I'd love to hear from you guys in the chat as well. Let me know what your expectations are. Mine are very, very modest. I want a game where I can create tactics, and those tactics happen on the pitch, where I can manage a team, I can buy players, and that's about it. That's my expectation. I want a based game that is to the quality that Sports Interactive and before them, IDOS made, that I will enjoy. It doesn't have to be the most incredible thing. It doesn't have to have every feature in the world. But if I can enjoy playing the games and I can enjoy taking over the teams, and I can enjoy the transfer element of it, that's all I need. SI have a really good track record of delivering on something that I enjoy up until now, so I have some faith in that regard. Right, Sid is not fit, so we're going to push Dahlstrom into the more attacking position. Yeah, we're going to put Dahlstrom. Actually, it's a cup match. It's a cup match against another team below us. They're in the 3rd division, the Ikonen. So we will rotate a little bit more than we normally do. And that means Robin Sid is nowhere near the team whatsoever. Let's give Nunes the start. Let's pop Salonen in for Reed. Let's actually put Nissanen on the right and put Olawale on the left. We're going to give Suleiman the start in midfield, and we're going to bring Machado in for Reitinen, so Reitinen can have a little bit of a rest. But he will be on the bench just in case we need him. Lundberg and Enquist will come on in the second half for certain. Yeah, I think that should be okay. We'll see how that goes. You should have a picture of Kanye West's kids as 0 points. I like your thinking there, JHK. So, Adam, on that note, I have to go. Catch you all soon. Thank you so much for being along, sir. I hope you have a lovely, lovely evening. Is Rafael Garcia playing for JJK in your save? He played alongside Bellingham, Musiala, Palmer for England's youth team. Let's go and have a look in a second. Rafael Garcia. He does not appear to be. Unfortunately not, I'm afraid to say. We can though. Actually, let's just pop out and see if he's in the squad. Ah, Merville has now moved there. We saw Merville last episode at his parent club, which is FC Haka, but he's since gone out on loan, it appears, to JJK. But there is no Rafael Garcia. Let's see if I can find him. There's going to be a lot of Rafael Garcias, aren't there? That's a stadium, that one. Anyone that looks to be in Finland here? No. This one, perhaps? Offenbach? No, that age he wasn't playing with. So we'll leave that for the time being, I think. Let's get back to the match. So Buggy Mess on launch will be pretty good by the time 26 is ready, reckons Hank. There's a possibility. We'll certainly see what will happen. I guess we're going to have a better idea potentially around the end of January when we might actually see something. So Kenny has no expectations for FM25. Not in a bad way, I just know it's the first of a new era. It's a stepping stone. I think that's a very, very fair comment indeed. Yonsa, the left-back Porker is a player I faced a couple of times last season. Awesome. And Porker is a really good name as well. A really good name. Red App says, I would like something more focused in tactics, so having a more micromanagement in terms of tactics. That's fair. How do you envisage that? So what areas would you like to see those additional elements of micromanagement? Yeah, do you have an idea in your head of what that might look like? H-Tank Christmas tree formation in November. Indeed. You know, we're getting ready for the Christmas period. Get that spirit in there. And Red App wants to do so with training too. RJ is going to skip FM25 only 6 months before FM26 anyway. Again, that's absolutely fair. I think it should be, I mean, depending, if they move straight back to the same release schedule as before, you would be able to get a decent 8. Here's Yarvan Lahti, and that is 1-0. This system does not work. I think I'm happy to say that right now. Oh, does it not work? We have dominated the opening exchanges. Olawale is not a left back, but he's not playing as well. Oh, Alvanen. Alvanen seemed to get sucked in a little bit there as well. So Alvanen is paying attention to Maninen, but lets him drift off the ball. He then follows, which creates the gap here. So we can see our defenders here. Okereke, kind of in that right space. Machado is kind of central. Alvanen is kind of in the right spot. That does mean that Olawale needs to be a little bit more alert. He is onside. Will it allow me to click on the defensive midfielder? It won't allow me to click on the defensive midfielder. Kept on trying. But I do have a feeling that was Suleiman who probably should have been ready to drop into that space as well. Okay, here comes JJK again. We are not about to lose to a third division team. We are about to lose to a third division team. There's Maninen, Rikkonen with another weird save. How on earth did that go left? Right, we are going to give them an earful. This is not acceptable whatsoever. Out, Fabi, thank you so much for the resubscribe. I hope you are keeping well, sir. Right, they are absolutely tearing through us. It's quite worrying, really. And to swing these guys back into that original line. So if maybe we could, you know, perhaps just mark someone, that'd be nice. Dahlstrom now with a free kick. Batters off. It's a ricocheting everywhere at this point. And Hank, you're an absolute gentleman. Thank you very much for the resubscribe. 2 whole months, which considering I've only been open for 2 months is brilliant. I love you guys so much. You are absolute gentlemen. So where were we with the chat? We were talking about expectations. I'm just going to skip FM25. I think there should be a good 8 months worth of FM25. But it's perfectly reasonable to skip. Understandable. I find that I'm enjoying FM24 despite our god-awful performances. And if you're still enjoying something, there's no real need to switch. A Salonen, he's still on goal. That's got to be 1-1. It is indeed. Oskari Salonen brings us back level against the third division side. So it does appear that the change to wing backs from defensive wingers has helped us a little bit more there. We might need to try and look into that a little bit more afterwards to see why it struggled so much against JJK, but didn't say in our earlier game against, who did we play before Lahti? We played someone before Lahti. Well, we did lose 3-1 to be fair, but we were unfortunate to lose that game. Here's the cross, Olawale with the header, and that's over. So dodgy roll-ups, just like a smarter AI to compete against. Indeed, I can completely understand that as well. I think that's a very, very difficult thing to achieve, but I hope that the move to a new engine means that they're not having to build on top of legacy stuff, and that maybe we can see some greater improvements in that respect. I'm not happy. There is no way I can dress up 1-1 as a good thing, even if we've deserved to be ahead. So the changes that I said were going to happen was going to be Enquist on at half time and Lundberg. Salinen's done okay. He's obviously scored the goal. We'll give Ajala a bit of a rest, and these will be the changes here. Leo Anderson played for the reserve, so he's a little bit tired. So we will bring him on a little bit later because he still needs fitness, but maybe not this early. Incredible hair. That is some hair. Hanson drummer. Looks like child Kevin. There's a reference. So yes, Kevin is somebody that me and Quadmo know. And yes, it does. Yes, it does. Have you speculacious in Britain? If we do, I'm not familiar with it, ACAP. What is speculacious? Saarbrücken happens sometimes, says RJ, indeed. So, JJK's backup goalkeeper, Pasoja, is another one that Jonsa trains with regularly. His father also played for the club. Awesome. Awesome. As well as Sherman Osso on the bench. This is the Jonsa save. We need to get you in the game, Jonsa. We need to get you in the game like stat. I don't know if it's possible to... I don't have the editor, and even though I don't have it, I have it set up that you can't enable it during the game, so I can't add you that way. We might need to add you in as a nickname on a regen. We're going to win the league. Cup, says DM Basis. Yes, with a 1-1 draw against 3rd division opposition. Olawale. Hey, Olawale. About time. About time. So space out wide. Olawale has a chance to make amends for his poor defending earlier. That is right in the top corner as well. Gorgeous stuff. Anarchist Koala FM, welcome along. Thank you for the follow. And congratulations on what might be one of the best names I've ever heard. Anarchist Koala. Amazing. Right, here comes the change, which is Leo Anderson that we said we were going to make. Otherwise, I think we're probably going to keep things as is. I don't really want to... We might give Alvin an arrest at some point, but otherwise, most of these players on the pitch aren't guaranteed starters. Olawale potentially is. So maybe the last 10 minutes or so we'll look at another change. Hey, Hank, you saved my FM24 experience with your skin and with showing the basis of how to play with analytics. Much more fun. Bless you. Thank you very much. More importantly, I'm just glad that it's helped find a new way to play and something that you've enjoyed. Ultimately, that's what it is. I think when you play a game for a long time, you need something. You need just to change things up a little bit every now and then. Here, JJK, come looking for the equaliser. Swings into the far post. We get it clear. Please end the highlight there. We have ended the highlight. Good. Rear Markey now with a goal kick. Going to send it long. Lundberg gets in. Enquist doesn't really attack the space to begin with. Plays it into Salinen. Takes a shot from distance. That's nicely pushed over by Riamarki. Bit of a dumb shot from there, to be honest. But hey, you know, if you don't buy a ticket, you can't win the raffle or something to that effect, right? So here we go. Last 10 minutes. Let's just give a little bit of a rest to Alvinen. A little bit of a rest to Olawale. Means Reed on as a right wing back. And there we go. So we get it in certain supermarkets like Aldi and Lidl, but it's not common. Okay, so DM Basis knows what speculacious is. Something I definitely need to look up. Is there still pre-season? Are these league games now? We are well beyond pre-season, I'm pleased to say. We were in the Liga Cup. We won 2 games and drew 3 in the group stage, which got us through to the semi-final, where we were dumped out by Ilves, who are a wonderful team. Arvid Lundberg with the header at the far post. Could we be about to win a game by more than 1 goal? Look at him dance. Yeah. Enquist gets outside his man, hangs it up. Lundberg, all 6'3" of him, gets there, in off the post. And that, thankfully, has probably seen us safe in a game that never really should have been this close to begin with. So yeah, we got through to the semi-final, and then we played against Ilves, who have a wonderful badge. Their Ilves is Finnish for lynx, and their badge is like a lynx drawn in that kind of midsummer Wicker Man style. It is truly frightening stuff. They beat us 2-0 in a game they deserved to win, but they're a very, very good team. They're one of the best teams in the Valkensliga, so we kind of expected it. We then won on the opening day of the league 4-3. 4-3. We were 2-0 down, and then scored a whole bunch of goals from set pieces against HJK, who are one of the teams that often, like, I think they've won the league like 4 or 5 times in a row. They're regularly winning the league. It's a fantastic result away from home. And then we lost every game after that until a little bit earlier. And this is now the other cup competition. We're currently playing against some lower division teams, and that's quite helpful because it allows us to rotate players and get a little bit of fitness out there, and sometimes get a little bit scared by going 1-0 down and conceding lots of opportunities to a team we really, really shouldn't. So let's pop this in. Let's do a little bit of rest there. So away from home, we're now against HJK again. Sorry, we didn't beat HJK. We beat HJK in the cup. We beat FC Haka in the league. That's right, because that's where we first saw Mervela and his glorious, glorious hair. So we now have HJK once again, which we played in the cup. And they are the team. They're in first right now. Their history is one of pretty much dominance here. That is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 league titles in the last 20 years. They are the daddies of the league. So that's going to probably be quite a tough game. One that we're probably going to need to be a little bit more counter-attacking. I quite like the defensive wingers and these guys both basically as kind of not fully shadow strikers. And that saw us play with a higher tempo. And because we're counter-attacking, just a little bit more width as well. So with these guys running the channels, that should provide us opportunities to hit the space. These guys stay wider. And then we might need to swap around these guys depending. We did want somebody stepping forwards. We found that Alvin doing that role was quite nice. So let me just check where we are there. Instruct specific players when they receive the ball, they should rise the pace of the build-up. I'm thinking about a Sporting, they have a really patient build-up, but when there's opening for Trincao or Pope, they just rise the tempo. I try to do this, but it is difficult. Yes, I mean, that is fair. It can be really difficult to get that balance between build-up tempo and then in the final third. That seems like a reasonably sensible. I like the idea. I like the idea, Red App. Annika said, thank you, mate. Big fan. Amazing work you're doing for the FM community. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. So I'm just glad that people enjoy stuff. And yes, Red Up, that did make sense. So Dian says, Speculoos. I think it's more commonly known as Speculoos here. Little ginger biscuit type things. I like the sound of that. Ginger is elite. As a biscuit and flavouring, maybe not so much hair colour. Let's get some ginger hate going. They never get enough hate. My bad, I missed the last stream. Not your bad at all. I'm more than happy to bring people up to speed. Pronounced Speculoos, I think. Right. So Johnson with some Finnish tidbits in here. JJK used to play in the Valkensliga, eventually run out of money and had to restart in the 5th or 6th tier of football. Now the team in the highest league is the sports capital of Finland. There you have it. This is what I love, these little tidbits of information. Christmas spices is a description, says Bam Bam. Okay, right. So okay, it's a Christmas snack. This starts to make sense. Lotus Bistoff biscuits are speculoos, apparently. Okay, right. I don't think anyone can say a bad thing about Biscoff biscuits. Ease Off tackles us in. Good evening, sir. How are you? We've missed you this evening. I haven't had anyone insulting me every 3 seconds. You need to get you on form, sir. So, RJ, they're called Biscoff in Belgium too now. No idea why. Daddies of the League sounds wrong, says Nemo Toad. It does indeed. And I like it. If it sounds wrong, that's good. Sounds like you're saying my nick constantly, says JHK. I do apologise. Yes, we're going to get this a lot, I think, with this save. Whether it's going to be... the next team isn't going to be any better. HJK is just those 3 letters the other way round. But I'll be honest, let's give it a try. But I'm not going to be able to say with any consistency Jivasculan Jalkapalo Klubi. That's what I'm going with. And I won't have any corrections on. No, please do correct me. Please do correct me. Right, so let's go back to we need to go to our full strength team, preferably here, which will look something like... No, it won't. It'll be Larson, Reed, Lundberg up front. We're going to play Enquist out left, Olawale on the right. Dahlstrom now will drop into the deeper positions. So he'll play there, and I've been quite happy with Okereke as our ball-winning midfielder. We need Sid on the bench, which means no Anderson. I prefer Bonsell over Suleiman for that spot there. Right, that's what we're going for, it looks like. So here we are up against Helsingen Jalkapalaklubi. Another round of let's have faith. We can do this, right? So Biscoff spread is a thing of beauty. And RJ confirms that it was called Speculoos and now it's called Biscoff. Biscoff is the term in the zeitgeist, isn't it? As we give the ball away straight from kickoff. Is it a chance for an opening goal within the first 30 seconds? It's off there inside the post and the other. And Dahlstrom clears. Oh my, we got lucky, living a charmed life within the opening moments. But here we go. We've got a chance ourselves. Larson plays it into Lundberg. Lundberg's denied by Ost. I thought he was offside, but it would have stood if he'd managed to score. 2 big chances for both teams already. Machado, the second ball, and there's the clearance. Exciting stuff. Have you tried the ginger Oreos? I haven't. I'm not controversial, perhaps, but I'm not a fan of Oreos. I find the chocolate a little bit too bitter, and I don't think the cream filling is that special. And I completely understand if that means you're now going to leave the stream because you're offended. Here's our sticker. Plays it across the Band-Aid. He over for Mouts. Easier to score than miss. So here we go. The momentum has actually been in our favour, apparently. But like we've seen before, when we do play well, it seems to be that teams can then just waltz through us otherwise. Larson wins the ball back. Dahlstrom here. Has he created space to shoot? No, he plays it to Olawale. Olawale into Larson. Back to Olawale. Can he cross it? He can't. He goes with a shot. Flashes across the goal, but was never really going to cause any problems. There we go. Look at that shape there. That is very, very attacking so far. We might actually look already to consider dropping the guys back into the wing-back position. Here's Band-Aid. Chance to play it into Essay. Well, no point in dropping back now. Now, Enquist couldn't get there. Band-Aid plays the ball across. He's offside. He's offside, ref. Oh, I want to see that one again. Look, I've sat up. He is ahead of the ball there, but we know that that's not always accurate. I need to do that one on that one even. So, do I have a ruler to hand? I do not, but I do have a tape measure. This isn't very good for you guys. You can't see me with a tape measure on the screen, but I can. That bastard is offside. That bastard is definitely offside. We've been robbed. We have been robbed. I will hear nothing else of it. Disgraceful decision. Disgraceful. So we've pushed to attacking. We're going to try and get back into this straight away into the next 15 minutes or so. Does that mean we go 2-0 down? Is that a risk that isn't worth it? Here's Sarpe now. Referee has played on. Plays it across to Counter-Opus. Band-Aid is through again. Cuts inside, pokes it straight to the keeper. So we're on attacking, but we are going to wing-backs. We're going to wing-backs as soon as we bloody well can. This is the problem when you have a team with very little depth at fullback. Dahlstrom now. Chance from a free kick. Good save from Ost. Lundberg gets there to the second ball. Plays it back outside. Dahlstrom out to Olawale. Machado, we're just going to pass it around like we always do. That's the high-tempo attacking football you love to see, going backwards constantly. Corner now for HJK, not JHK. Into the far post. Halmer gets the header. That's 2-0. Done and dusted. Done and dusted. The one-game unbeaten streak is coming to an end. Morris Gracia crosses to the far post. 3 players in and around, but Halmer gets there first. 2 players on the post, a goalkeeper, no one can do anything about it. So our counter-attacking approach here currently has us with 60% ball share. They hang it up to the far post. Enquist can't get there. Cosfe Bassini, I don't even know what that name is. I've missed half the letters. Fires over from distance. Well, that was awful now, wasn't it? So things were looking good. They then got a little bit of momentum, scored against the run of play, I would have said generally overall. And then we went attacking, and that kind of threw it away. We're in the position we deserve to be. And once again, we go for a game where we start Lundberg. It doesn't really pay off. So, time for Sid to do the honours. He can come in. We just need to change to that one there. Bring these guys back. This guy will be attacking on the side. There. We will then bring off Lundberg for Sid. Larson will go up front. And we will look to pass into space, higher tempo, try and get Larson or Reed in behind. Potentially even Enquist maybe coming attacking from deep, but we need to see a little bit more there. I would really like to see us mark strikers as well. We have 3 defenders, just need one of you to, pay attention to the striker. Granted, it's a bit too late to say that. We let him score in the first half. Here we go. Chance for our comeback. We seem to be a team that like to go down before we mount a comeback, so maybe that's what we need. We need that kick up the arse to begin the game. That's what I'm hoping. I'm pinning our hopes on maybe being able to creep back into this in the second half. Maybe, maybe not. So, where was I with chat? I also missed the previous stream as my girlfriend forced me into watching I'm a Celebrity. These things have to happen, and it's a compromise that's only fair. So Yalka Palaklubi wasn't too far off. You're right, you are finished. Indeed. There we go. Hi, thanks for your work and inspiration. All the best from Germany. Lovely to see you in MK Analysis. I hope you're doing well. How are you? FPL Bosnia, is this a custom skin? It is indeed a custom skin. It is the Mustermann iconic skin that I created as Olawale. What a goal! What a hit, son! What a hit. Oh, that's more like it. We are a second half team. I think that is the conclusion I have come to. We might as well just not play the first half at all, as Olawale absolutely leathers it past us. Nothing the keeper could do about it. Game on. Yeah, Mr. Mustermann over on YouTube, you can see the link to it in the description, as is also a description to the Discord as well, if you'd like to come along and join the community. You can alternatively find it in any place that hosts skins, so FM Scout, Sort It Out SI, the SI forums, Football Manager Graphics, Passion for FM. All these places will host the skin, where you can download it. It is attributeless, though. I will give you a little bit of warning there. So that team looks incredibly attacking for away against top of the league. Here we go, Robin Sid. I have a song for that.
Well, here's to you, Mr. Robinson. Mika loves you more than you will know.
Yes. There we go. So yes, it is incredibly attacking for away against top of the league, but we have one left back and he's shit. We have one right back, he's shit. We have 3 dedicated centre backs and they're shit. And our defensive midfielders are shit too. So we might as well lean into the fact that our best players are attacking and just go for it. If we concede goals, we concede goals. Our best hope of... Oh no. So you know when I said that our players are shit? What on earth was that? What on earth was that? That is comedy defending of the highest order. Right. I actually need to see this again. What is the best angle we can get for it? It is going to be this one. No, we're not going to see well from TV zoom. Behind goal isn't going to help us. Sideline. Can we reverse it? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. The ball's hanging up there. 2 of them go for it. Their guy just kind of dives at us and straight through for Harden. 3-2 it is. Oh, that is truly, truly atrocious. My word. Okay, hopefully this means... No, that was just catching us up to be live. So, into the changes now. Enquist has been told he's not particularly good, but we don't have really any proper left-backs. Says that Oskari Salonen can play there, so that's going to be our option. We're going to bring Ajala on. We'll bring Ajala on in that respect. And we're going to save Willie Nunes for a little bit because he hasn't actually done anything for us. So I don't really have faith in him being the one to help us come back. Fire up into the last 10 minutes. We can get this back. We can get this back. We did so well to pull it back to 2-2. Nothing much is happening there. How do we do this? We will go with a pressing forward and an advance forward. Do we go for some kind of... We are going to look to overload as much as we possibly can centre. We don't have any height now. Now that we've bought Lundberg off, we are very, very vulnerable in those areas. Do we split it? We'll split it out. We are going full Cruyff total football. Olawale is a winger on attack. We will have an inside forward on attack here. That will be Sid. Salonen will be an attacking midfielder on attack. So actually, he'll be inverted winger on support. We have absolutely no cover down the wings whatsoever, but that's fine. We are really, really pushing this in the last what, 5-10 minutes. We need that goal. And that will mean that Nunes gets his opportunity. He gets his opportunity for... Olawale scored a goal. No, he's coming on for Nunes, for Dahlstrom. Nunes there. Larson comes out. Inside forward attack. We will do that. Inside forward attack. Pressing forward on support. Attacking midfielder on support. Jaden Reed can play as an dance forwards. Olawale can jump. Olawale can jump. There we go. So, Olawale. No pressure on you, young lad. Last few minutes. Can we generate anything at all? No, we can't. It's going to be 4-2. This is what happened before. We went for it in the last few minutes. We conceded another goal, and that's fine with us. We would much rather lose by 2 than not make an effort. I'm not worried about goal difference. As in, if we go down because of goal difference, we deserve to go down anyway. A long ball forward, nothing happening there. Now, Band-Aid's caused us trouble. He manages to get hold of it. Plays it inside to Harden. Sarpe now. There's a Steker over on the left. Svensson is free. Plays it through. That's some poor defending by Machado to allow that through. That could have been the chance, but we were fortunate. Here we are now. It's the 5th minute of 4 minutes of injury time. The whistle is surely upon us now, especially if we keep passing it backwards. I think we can feel hard done by. I think we can definitely feel hard done by on that one. I would love to know what the XG was on that goal from Caius Harden, where we all just let him straight through. 0.25. If we take that off, it would have been very, very even from an XG point of view. They obviously had fewer shots, so of better quality. But we did show a spirited performance in that second half. And so I am going to say some nice things about them. But that is a little bit heartbreaking to lose in that manner. Oh, apparently we're on an ad. So I do apologise to anybody over on Twitch who's not able to hear me. Why am I apologising? You can't hear me. I'll just keep on talking. So just skip first half and we win the league, says RJ. Indeed, we need to start games at half time. That is the thing we need to do. So what have we got here? Johnson says they've got a couple of players who helped Finland qualify for a second ever under-21s Euros. Indeed. So time for some gung-ho starters, ACAP. Yes, that is what we need to well, we're trying, to be fair. Just skip first half. Golawale. I love it. Catenaccio first half and then second half switch to your normal tactic and you might have a chance. That does sound like the way he's off tackles. Sparky laughs, and I don't blame you there at all. All 3 go for the header and don't jump. Indeed, that was a painful way to lose. The inverted pyramid. It was the inverted pyramid, JHK. Jason is in. Kalispera, Musterman. Good evening. Hope everyone is doing very well. We have just lost in heartbreaking fashion, Jason. Now, it's quite possible you sent this message like 2-3 minutes ago and I missed that, at which point I apologise. Yeah, we've had a bit of an on and off stream so far tonight. We started with a 3-1 defeat. We then had a comeback 3-2 win against FC Lahti. We won in the cup against 3rd Division, and then we've lost 3-2 again. At least there were goals though. It's been exciting. But, and I do apologise to everyone else who's already seen me replay this multiple times, because I am dumbfounded. Truly dumbfounded. We went 2-0 down away from home against the best team in the league. The second half, we pulled it back to 2-2. We just went for it. We, threw caution to the wind, and we were in the ascendancy. We had the momentum. And then this happened when it loads up. I should have clicked that first, really, because, that's destroyed the drama. Here we go. Pain. Absolute pain. 2 defenders went for the ball, missed the header entirely. Their striker runs through. And that's why we lost. Real pain. Triple P is in. Good evening, sir. How are you? That does mean that HJK are now unbeaten in 10. I mean, they would have still been unbeaten in 10, to be fair. Just realised the Finnish league name sounds like Weak Ass League. the Veikkausliiga. I see what you're going for there. Perhaps potentially, yeah. Ease off tackles has been forced into watching I'm a Celebrity again. Sorry to hear that. Well, sometimes, as I said, these compromises, they have to happen. So FM Catenaccio asked, what's your favourite centre-forward partnership? I'm a big fan of a single striker, so I tend not to play two strikers if I can avoid it. I like a target forward with runners coming off them. I also quite like, if I do have to go with a two-striker system, a false nine and advanced forward, so that you have someone potentially pulling a defender with them and creating a space for the run. But it's relatively rare I want to go for a two-striker system. Right, we've got only 3 days until our next game, a home game against Ekenas. Ekenas, who topped the Liga Cup group we were in. So we do have to be mindful of that. And it looks like we are already going back to having regular wing-backs. We can't start Lundberg. He doesn't do it when he starts, which is a real shame. So this system will have Robin Sid there, Adam Larson up front. I'm going to give Fonsell the start as well. He does kind of deserve it. And we need Alvin to step forward. So have HK hired Sean Dyke recently? It does seem that way, doesn't it? Berate each centre back. No point now, hey? No point. We just have to accept that they've done for us. Sir Bamson says, I think Sherland was at Liverpool on Champs 0102. He was indeed. That's why we refer to him as Liverpool legend Daniel Sherland. I don't think he ever actually played for them. He did have a little bit of a journeyman career if we go and head on over to him here. So he did play quite a few places. He started his career, so he was born in Mariehamn, and he started his career with IFK, as I imagine you will know. Then went off to Brommapojkarna in Sweden. Then was at West Ham for a couple of years before moving to Liverpool. And this is all obviously academy time there. Then was back in Sweden at Djurgården for quite a while, before at Videberg, if Norrköping, and back to us at Mariehamn. Then finished his playing days at FC Åland without actually playing. And now is our assistant manager. A legend. I've been so confused thinking my chat was stalling delayed, but realised you're streaming to YouTube too. Indeed, DMB. I do apologise. It's one of the reasons why I do try and read out the comments in their entirety, because I appreciate that we can't see the YouTube comments on the stream. So unfortunately, that's part of the terms of services of Twitch. So I'm allowed to stream to multiple platforms, but I'm not allowed to show the chat of another platform on Twitch, which seems rather draconian and arbitrary. But I can't imagine that there'll be anyone from Twitch deciding to watch little old me streaming and report me for doing so. But I don't want to start off on bad terms, you know. No point in risking trouble over something as menial as that, even if it seems a little unfair and unreasonable. Right, let's work on possession. Let's work on our attacking corners and throw-ins. You know what? It does seem a little bit stupid to say this, but I'd quite like us to draw this game. Ekenas have started well. We obviously drew with them in the Liga Cup. They're currently in 4th, but more importantly, I just would like a draw in the league. It's just been wins and losses, nothing in between. And unfortunately, more losses than wins. So, despite having no scouting budget, we are getting scout reports back from our director of football, but they are all at minimum knowledge. And soon, we're probably going to be sort of around mid-June, we'll start looking through the pool that the scouts have brought together, so that we can look at what we're going to do in July. Here we go. So the board expect to draw from this game as well. That would be nice. Just something that isn't a win or a loss. RG, they're more likely to ban small streamer than big streamer. Very, very true. Cert says, yes, he was a promising striker, a bit like Mikael Forsell, but quite quickly ended up in Sweden and became a midfielder. Didn't have a huge role in the national team at any point. Twitch sounds like a dictatorship more and more every day. Well, yes, they do. They have also loosened their policy in that regards, though, to give them some credit where it's due. So previously you weren't allowed to multi-stream. It's all part of the terms of the affiliate and partnership programs. So they're evidently loosening up in that regards. But you know, they provide a platform that ultimately doesn't make money. I think Twitch still is hemorrhaging money quite badly. And the only reason why, well, it's complicated because obviously they're a subsidiary of Amazon, and a lot of their operating costs come from the Amazon servers that they use. And if you were to account for that in the budget, they would be losing money. But because of the way that it's all structured, it's kind of acceptable because, you know, everything else makes shitloads of money. Exactly, Hank. I'm sure Jeff Bezos is suffering. It is obviously, I'm not going to feel sorry for Bezos. Right, against the 4-3-3, they have Efimov as a Mazzala, and he did cause us trouble. We are going to start off by making sure we mark a striker, right? Now, that might mean that two centre-backs decide to run into one another whilst trying to head the ball, but we need to pay attention to the striker. We are also going to pay attention to Efimov. I want us to mark him. He's the Mazzala. And possibly tackle him harder because he's not fully fit. This is going to be the game that we win. This is going to be the game that we win. We will in fact start on attacking as well. With that higher tempo. Let's start on some of those things in the second half that have been quite positive for us without resorting to the target forward who struggles whenever he starts games. So I'm going to ignore Sherlin for this one. Let's see what we can do. It's pump fists. No, they don't care about the fans. See, I was hoping that maybe an appeal to their humanity would fire them up, but evidently not. So here we go. Ekinas now. We drew with them in the Liga Cup. They are currently 4th in the league. Efimov now with the ball straight from the kickoff. Tries playing it through to Fofana. Nothing going there, but there's space out on the right. Thankfully, the highlight came to an end there. Long ball forward. Machado takes it down. Reitnen. Slow, gets intercepted. Fofana is through on goal, and that has hit the bar. We are very, very fortunate. What an awful, awful bit of defending. But Riikonen makes up for it with a save in the second chance. We are already going to fire these boys up. How awful do you need to be in the opening exchanges? Big game between the two best teams in the Liga Cup. Exactly, RG. The two best teams in the Liga Cup Group A, who both got knocked out in the semi-finals. It is also worth mentioning. So we have had absolutely zero of the ball. I think we found this in the previous game as well. But bizarrely, we seem to be more in their half than they are in ours. I do like the colours here as Dahlstrom's shot narrowly over. Someone really put good thought into this as white and green play against green and white. Not confusing in the slightest. Maybe that's why we passed it to Fofana so early on in the game. Second plays a corner now. Taimi plays it back to Efimov, crosses it in. We get it clear, but here's Mohamed. Edge the area. Can he play it to Kaufman? Kaufman's there. Gets shot from distance. Ooh! Narrowly wide. Narrowly wide. Let's have a look. This is what we saw in the last game against them as well. They have so much the ball in deep areas, even with us pressing high. Here's a long ball. Olawale gets it in. Dahlstrom. Okay, falls to Olawale. He's got space. Run forwards. Nope, okay, come back. That's fine if that's what you want to do. Machado, Olawale, run into the space. Run into the space. Yes, cross it. That's what you want to do. And it was easily cleared. But at least he did something with the ball. Enquist now. He can run into space, or he can cross it really tamely. Probably took a deflection on the way through, and Almeida was there. Does that mean this is going to be Ekenas's highlight, actually? Almeida, will he kick it long? No, he's going to roll it out to Lindqvist. And his poor pass to Larson. We step in. Larson crosses to the far post. Reed's attacking it. Dahlstrom at the edge of the area. What a hit! What a hit from Dahlstrom.
Owns a Nokia phone, likes a sauna in the cold. Sebastian Dahlstrom. Yeah, Sebastian Dahlstrom.
What a hit from Sebastian Dahlstrom. That goal was rather special. That could potentially move us up to the heady heights of 8 and 9 points. There we go. So we have had the chances. We've had very little of the ball. Very, very, very little of the ball. But we have had all the chances. Ekenas have completed 339 passes in that first half. And they're all quite deep. If we can keep them behind us, that's fine. We can see FM as we expected as the one really pushing forwards. The wingers in the 4-3-3 aren't really doing much. They're sitting quite deep. So I'm guessing they're probably on a balanced or maybe even a cautious mentality here. Us, on the other hand, have barely had the ball, and that's past map. It just looks like the last remnants of strings of cheese after you've pulled apart a pizza. Now the question is, do we not have much of the ball because we're then being very wasteful with it? Not really. Olawale I've been a little bit underwhelmed by, and we might make changes there. But kind of what you expect for something that is reasonably high tempo. Do we have a weak point with this? 8 lost possessions from 45 touches is quite good. I mean, if you've had 45 touches, you know, you're seeing a lot of the ball. You're going to lose it quite a bit. Right. So doing well. I'm going to say some positive stuff there. Olawale, I want him to dribble more but take fewer risks. Adam Larson, he is being asked to tackle harder because he's the pressing forward. That does worry me a little bit. That's a recipe for a red card, isn't it? I can't bring Nunes on. I can't bring Nunes on. He's just not. He's not good. Even if he's called Willie. So it's going to be Salonen on and Reed to push into that area. Or do we go defensive? Do we go defensive? I think we go defensive and bring on Nissanen and put Olawale up front. Possibly push down to positive mentality. We'll keep the tempo higher for the time being. That's creating chances for us. But maybe if we drop that mentality a little bit, we will be a little bit more secure on the ball. We'll take a little bit fewer risks when we do have it. Like there, where we pass it straight to the opposition. Right, Enquist crowded out there. FM off on the ball. But Olawale comes back. That's what we want from a pressing forward. Reed now, chance to run. Break into the space. Good man. Get the cross in. He does. Olawale! Olawale, you bastard, for being offside. Oh, well. That was fun for a moment, wasn't it? The refs are happy to give offsides against us, aren't they? But when other teams are offside, it's perfectly fine. Oh, I forgot one of the goals in the last game was offside as well, so not did we concede to that calamitous defending. Here's FM with a free kick. Cleared by Sid. Reed now. Is he going to counter-attack? He takes outside to Enquist, but it's been intercepted by Panamos. FM blocked. Fofana covers it again. Out wide to Taimi. Enquist puts it out. I'm going to demand more. I want to see you. I want to see you fighting for the ball, boys. Fighting for the ball, boys. Not fighting for the ball, boys. That's weird. Here we go. Olawale takes it first time on his weaker foot. Was always going over. So the momentum is very much in their favour now. We do need to probably make some changes. We're going to wait until this highlight has ended, though, as Dahlstrom steps in. Olawale to Reed. Reed opens up some space. Can he get the shot off? He can. Oh, what a great save from Almeida. Not a great save. It's a goal kick. So it just went over. So what are we looking for in the second half? We're going to bring Ajala on here. We are actually going to go back to attacking because we at least had the momentum in our favour. We were established more in their half. We are going to keep an eye on the settings here. We've got FM still on. We've got Fafana still on. They've bought off Halas to bring on Leighton and swapped Kaufman out to the other side now. Kaufman did have a great shot from the edge of the area, but it wasn't really created by him. It was the second phase of a corner. So here we go. Talking of second phases of corners, Puro crosses it in. We get it clear, but it's back. Here's the cross, but Riikonen with a good, strong claim. What's going to happen here? He's going to send it long. And Reed is never, ever going to have a hope getting that. Alvinen now plays it forward to Enquist. Crossing comes in, goes over. We're unfortunate there. And it looks like I've lost chat. I've lost chat. My lovely little thing that controls chat is gone. So I do apologise, guys, that I can't respond to you for a moment. Coming into the last 5 minutes. Here is where we win the changes. So, Dahlstrom. Been quite happy with him, but on comes Salonen. So we drop him deep so that we've got some fresh legs in that area. The same goes for... Right, Reed is coming off. We're going to push Alawale into midfield. We're going to have Lundberg as that target forward. We're dropping all the way back to balanced, and we're going to waste time as much as we possibly can, which also means dropping the tempo. So do let me know if you do. I do have Twitch open as well on a laptop, so I can see chat. I can also see chat from YouTube over there as well, but I can't read it live whilst I'm playing properly, fortunately. So do let me know if you can hear me and can still see me. I do apologise that it doesn't seem to be otherwise connecting properly. Right, those are the changes, and then we'll wait a little bit more for... We can make one more change as well, sort of like in the last few minutes. Bring off Bonsell for Okereke. Right, Riikonen. He's a sweeper to keeper on defence, so we do expect him to come high. Here's Lundberg. Racing through, takes the shot from the angle. Almeida saves. Oh, it would have been nice to have made that 2-0. Sadly not to be. Right, into the last 4 minutes. 4 minutes of injury time. Niskanen is taking his sweet time on the throw-in. That means he's probably going to throw it straight to the opposition. Because that's what always happens. No, he doesn't. We keep possession. Well, hey. Bajala back to Raitanen. Well, back to Machado. Then over to Raitanen. All the way back to the keeper who sends it long to the big man. Olawale gets in there. Get it clear, but it's coming back to Foncel. Stolen away by Pete Salo. Here's the counter-attack from Mekinas. Nothing happening to it. 3 minutes remain. Daniel Enquist or Foncel to come off. Foncel is got better fitness, so we'll pop Foncel out into this wide area where we'll ask him to defend. Got nice, fresh, happy, busy body right there at the end. So let's see if I can get this back up. I have indeed. Marvellous. Last 20 seconds now. Okay, second chance. Tries crossing it in. That's cleared. We're not going to add a third here, are we? Are we writing and just play it safe? Ajala, play it safe. Good boy. Foncel, play it safe. Play it safe. Get it away from danger. All the way back to the keeper. Just send it back to keeper. I don't want to see anyone near a chance for them to intercept it. Send it long, I suppose. That's fine. Here's Niskanen. Run it into the corner. Run it into the corner. Even... It would have been nice if we scored that, okay? Like, that's fair. But just... Chill. And you see, when we're chill, because that is kind of the calm before the storm. in. Absolutely brilliant. There we go. Oh, and yet again, my arms really hurt after doing it. That is a fine win against fourth place Ekenas. I still kind of want us to at least draw a game at some point, but Dahlström's absolute thunder bastards makes the difference. Let's have a look at it here again. Larson crosses, headed out. Dahlström first time. Almeida did get a touch on it. Beautiful there. Okay, so nice work, everyone. Some glorious counter-attacking football on display, and that pushes us up to 8th. 3 wins, 5 defeats in 8 games. Looks like this is going to have to be the way that we do things. It's going to be tough. It's going to be winning games that we aren't expected, losing games that we should win. That's kind of going to be our MO from here on in. Now, let me just... One thing I do forget is that when I do the lovely little Numa thing, I actually need to pop back and to a different little scene so that the music comes back. That requires changing all the transition stuff as well, but none of that matters. None of that matters. That's been okay, really. So we've won 2 games and we've lost 2 games in the league so far this stream, and a little cheeky win in the cup against a team so many divisions below us that we kind of have got to be a little bit embarrassed by that. But hey, there we go. It was an absolute thunderbolt at DMB. Exactly. Riders on the Storm reference. Nice. Ankan Crodmo, both fans of the rider on the Storm, Sebastian Dahlström. Beautiful, isn't it? Was as fun as cutting your finger on a tuna tan, says Jason. I live for this moment. How'd you do the whole Numa dance perfectly? I mean, years of practice. I mean, to be fair, it's just a punch and then move the thing from side to side. But I did make sure that I watched it a little bit earlier. I was thinking of doing the whole song as well with the hello. But yeah, we can stop there. Anyway, that is actually going to be, when I say stop there, that's where I am going to stop the stream for this evening. As mentioned, I do need to make this a little bit of a shorter one so I can crack on with finishing off the video for tomorrow. It feels like once you hit that moment, once you hit the Numa, you can't really go further up from there anyway. What a beautiful, beautiful time to end. So I will start off by doing the standard things. I want to say a huge thank you to everyone who came along and watched this evening. It's been awesome, great fun, really enjoyed having you guys all here. If you're following over on YouTube, if you've enjoyed it, please consider hitting that like button, maybe even subscribing as well. Be really appreciated. I'm going to end the stream over on YouTube